Welcome! I've got an unboxing to do of this pretty heavy thing here. Wow! It is really heavy, that. I can't even hold it, let alone at arm's length, for more than a few seconds. So the actual literal unboxing part is probably going to be done off camera. But I can't wait to show you this. I mean, you know what it's going to be from the thumbnail and the title as always. This is a set that originally came out about a year ago, I think, when I saw it advertised originally, and then I saw it for pre-order at a few places. I thought, oh, I want that, but I can't afford it. And could I have afforded it this time? Not really. It's recently had what I understand to be a very limited repressing. That's why I've been able to pick it up now. There was an Instagram post on Tallbird Records, my local record shop's account, and Maria at Tallbird had got one of these boxes, one of these sets in, and she was asking £350. I didn't pay quite that much. I paid from Amazon £309. Now, I couldn't afford to pay that all in one go. Yes, this will now be right up there as one of my most expensive ever one-time only music purchases. I think the only thing that with postage might have been more expensive would be my People Like Us one-of-a-kind Wet Sounds album. £309, but I was able to use lay-by via Amazon. There was one or two teething troubles with it, but I won't get into that in this video. But it sorted itself out eventually. So I'm able to pay this off in 6 weekly instalments of what, £51 something a week. And I looked on eBay and one or two other places as well, and Amazon at £309 was the way to go. That sounded about what it cost when it originally came out a year ago, maybe even slightly less compared to some places. Anyway, right then, so enough of the price and how I'm paying for it and stuff like that. I'm just so delighted that I've actually got this, because I thought I'd missed out, and obviously I wasn't going to pay an extortionate amount on the aftermarket. I'm lifting it up again when it's bloody heavy, so let's get it open. So it came today, and it being an Amazon Prime delivery, it was free postage, and it didn't take long, about 3 days I think. Well, it'll be from one of the Universal Music depots. The sticker on here, and I've already taken the outer packaging with my address and stuff off, because I knew it'd be in another box. But the label on here goes on about it being from a UMG supply chain. So protection wise it's very good, because I'll try and show you this. It's, once again, I've got to lift it. You can see we've got some of this protective stuff on it. And I only need to be careful that I don't trap my mic wire and let everything come crashing down. I'll take this protective stuff off. I want to call it polystyrene, but it's not. Actually, it's all in the top and bottom of this box. Right. Oh god, blimey, it's heavy. I've got a few vinyl box sets, but none that have got as many albums, as many discs as this. So this one is the heaviest by a long chalk, but I've been able to, off camera pretty much, get it out the cardboard box, and I'll lift it up and show you now this absolute beauty. Oh, still something that I don't really want to be holding for a long time, but I've got to hold it for a certain amount so that I can read out what's in it. The Rolling Stones in mono. So it's got one of these, what will be like a wraparound info sheet that should hopefully be able to just fit in the box when I've taken the cellophane off. Let me read out what it says. Numbered limited edition 16 colour LPs, 150 plus tracks, heavyweight 180 gram vinyl, including a 58 page book with rare photos and essay by David Frick from Rolling Stone, as in the magazine Rolling Stone. Right, so the albums that are included, it's all the Rolling Stones' 60s output, plus something that I think may have been an exclusive to this set originally. It might have had a standalone release since, I'm not sure. By the way, this set originally, although this version with coloured vinyl is a 2023 thing, this original box set came out on black vinyl and I think probably CD as well a few years ago. I want to say 2016. But the albums, all the studio albums from the Rolling Stones in the 1960s. So it's the Rolling Stones 12 by 5, the Rolling Stones number 2, the Rolling Stones Now, the US version of Out of Our Heads, and then the UK version of Out of Our Heads. December's Children and Everybody's, Aftermath, the UK version, and then Aftermath, the US version. The UK version of Between the Buttons, Flowers, Their Satanic Majesty's Request, Beggar's Banquet, Let It Bleed, and Stray Cats. So Stray Cats is the one that's like a compilation of like non-album singles and things like that. That may have been and may still be an exclusive to this box. I'm not a Rolling Stones expert, but you know, I find their 60s work quite fascinating, really, you know, especially with them running parallel to the Beatles, and to get the chance to just really kind of beef up a massive section of a collection in one box set. And I do like the mono versions of the Beatles albums that have on CD. So to get the mono Rolling Stones albums from the same / a similar period, fantastic. Oh, now then, I think I might have seen the number on the bottom here. Mine is, and it's out of 10,000. I can't even read that. I'll get my glasses on for it. Mine is number 08249. Let me just see if I can lift that up and show you that. There you go. It says it on the bottom there. So as I say, this was like a limited repressing, so whether they pressed an initial run of maybe, I don't know, 7,000 or 8,000, and then they've done the last lot sort of nearly a year later, I honestly don't know. I'm just going by what Tallbird Records had said. I'll take the cellophane off, so I think I'm going to lose this Rolling Stones in Colour Hype sticker that's just there on the bottom front corner. But it's such a heavy thing, this. I'm not really set up to do these sort of unboxings where the item is just not only cumbersome in its size, but just too heavy for me to keep showing on camera. Just leave that there for now in case I do decide to do anything with that height. Okay, so now I've got to figure out how this opens. I think this might slide off from the top, or no, it's actually like lifting a lid. This is bloody difficult to do, but if I can just kind of, sort of wedged it there on my puff, my footrest, for those wondering, then I can kind of take things out one at a time and show you. I'll just give you a little look at how it looks now. There you go. Sorry that it's really not the best shot video I've ever made. Right then, starting out with the nice big glossy booklet. Oh, this is nice. This is already, I've only turned to the first page and already I'm impressed because of just the quality, archive photos, and then we've got this essay or the sleeve notes or whatever you'd call them by the chap, David Frick, did I say it was? Yeah, there's Brian Jones there. I mean, for me, this is like a Rolling Stones starter kit. I mean, it's not the first Rolling Stones product I've ever bought. I bought Hackney Diamonds recently when that came out a few months ago, and I've also got the Jump Back compilation on mini disc that I've had for years now. I do like the Stones. I've never been more than a kind of semi-casual listener to them, but it's gonna all change now because of this box set and having all of their 1960s albums, including some duplicate albums, but they're not really duplicates because they're being American and British versions. They do differ quite a lot, and then there'll be proper Stones nuts and Stones nerds who'll know exactly how they differ and which one is best, etc. Yeah, I'm just flicking through this book here. Loads of reading in it, something for me to really get stuck into when I start listening to all the records in this set. Some lovely double page spreads here. Now then, interestingly, all of these albums are individually, I was gonna say shrink wrapped, but I don't know if it is shrink or it's like it's like the adhesive music on vinyl style outer protective sleeves, which I don't particularly like, but I can kind of understand why we have those. It being a proper big box set, you know, whether it all needed to have these individual sleeves, I'm not sure. But regardless, this is the debut album. As you can see, it's a nice replica, and it says mono there because all of these are in monophonic sound. So self-titled, The Rolling Stones. This is definitely just a one-disc album. Let's get this one open and find out the colour of it. I might show you a few of them, like this one and maybe some others, but you have to go away and look for yourself, I think. So there we go. This one's a nice bold blue on the Decca label. Well, a replica of what would have been the Decca label of the time. But a lovely set, this. It's going to take ages if I show you each one individually, so I think I'm going to have to be selective here. But just to show you that I've got this, really, it's worth making this video. So next one, and I don't really want to lose my place in here, is 12 by 5 or 12 times 5, I'm not sure. It's nice just to look at the sleeves of the albums themselves, really, and they're all a good facsimile, and then it's got different colours for each record. That's 12 by 5. Might just show you the first one and the last one disc wise. Just speed this up a bit. Next we have, there's no title on it, but it's the Rolling Stones #2. It's very 60s, isn't it, the back of this? You could almost cover up the fact that it said the Rolling Stones on here. And if you showed it me, just gave me a flash of it, I'd be like, yeah, that's the back of an album sleeve from the 1960s. So the Rolling Stones #2, although that was the third one in the box. Then the Rolling Stones Now. Similar kind of setup, really. I don't know the years for these. They'll have the years on the sleeves, no doubt. The original years, I should say. It's easy to look all that stuff up if you need to know that information. Don't want to get mixed up here. This is Out of Our Heads. Trying to be careful here, because I don't want my box to come tumbling off and cause a minor earthquake. I can see that The Last Time is on that. That was definitely a single, a Jagger and Richards pen single. Of course, has the mono logo, if you can call it a logo. I don't think it's a literal logo. That one might have been the American Out of Our Heads, and this one might have been the British one, or vice versa. There's an asterisk there next to the Rolling Stones. I wouldn't be surprised if that's green vinyl, given there's a green tinge to the sleeve there, with the Stones looking a little bit menacing, like they're peering into a tent or something. And that's a similar, in fact it's the same sleeve, but they've used it for a different album here. December's, Children and Everybody's. Get Off My Cloud is one of the tracks on there. I know that, great single. Aftermath, I think this was one of the other ones where there's a UK edition and a US edition of the same album, but there's going to be different tracks on each. I mean, how much is there for me to listen to here with 16 albums worth? Yep, there we go. I think this one might be the American one here. Paint It Black is on it. High and Dry, Lady Jane. Excellent stuff. I would like to spend more time just going through this set, but you know, we could be here all day really. This one is Between the Buttons. Very nice. Still got a few to go here. Flowers. Getting a little bit psychedelic there, the Stones. Ruby Tuesday, Have You Seen Your Mother, Baby? Let's Spend the Night Together, Lady Jane is on this again. Yep, plenty of stuff that I know on there, or a fair bit of stuff I should say. Not plenty, because Rolling Stones is a group who I've never done a real deep dive into before. This one is their Satanic Majesty's Request. Another in their kind of psychedelic, let's ape the Beatles a little bit period. Really cool sleeve that, love that, very nice. Then we go on to Beggar's Banquet. I don't know why, I always thought Beggar's Banquet was an early 70s Stones album, but I'd have been wrong, because it can't be, because it wouldn't have been included in this 60s mono set. There's basically a load of graffiti on a Kazi wall. Toilet, by the way, for anyone non-English who wonders what Kazi is. Quite a familiar sleeve here. The cake itself, Let It Bleed. Was that their final album from the 60s? There's one more thing in here, which is the compilation album to show you. And I'm pretty sure that's a 2-discer. Looks like it's going to be a gatefold as well. Quite a minimal sleeve really here compared to the rest of them. This is Stray Cats. So what's on here is lots of singles. I Want to Be Your Man, which of course was a Paul McCartney and John Lennon written song. I think two of my favourites, Dandelion and We Love You, are on here. I'm sure they are. Yes. Jumping Jack Flash, Street Fighting Man. So there's a lot of singles on here. Stuff that didn't necessarily make any albums, but I couldn't honestly say. Some of these may well also feature in some form or another on some of the albums. I honestly don't know. I did show you the last album, and as this one is technically the last one in the box. Let's get it out, and yeah, it's definitely a 2-discer this. So still not sure exactly how many discs are in this set. I would say at least 17, I think. Nice gatefold image there. I don't know if both discs are the same colour. I'm assuming they are, but we might as well get them both out to have a look. On white vinyl, disc 1 or LP 1. And as I suspected, disc 2, LP 2 is the same colour, solid white once again. I'm just excited not only to get this really sumptuous and expansive box set into my collection, but it's just the perfect excuse when you get a set like this. It's similar to when I bought the ABBA studio albums box set a couple of years or so back, and it was just a great way just to get stuck into a group who I'd liked for a long time but I'd never really listened to on more than a casual basis. And I've read a lot of Beatles related books lately. I'm reading one at the moment. It's the Mark Lewison Volume 1 All These Years book, and it's going to form part of a trilogy that he's not even finished writing yet, and it's so detailed about the Beatles and their early lives and everything. And I've read other books, and you know, there's a lot of mention of the Rolling Stones in these other Beatles books because of, you know, the time period and the overlap, everything. So it's made me want to discover more 60s music, but really there was only one band I would want to start with regarding the 1960s, and it's the Stones. Really enjoyed Hackney Diamonds, the most recent album. Whether that'll be the final album, well, who knows with the Stones. One more look at this. It's an absolute behemoth, but if you can get it for what I think I got it for, a good price, just under £310. Amazon, yeah, whether it's good for music in general to buy something like this from there is debatable, but really you've got to look after the pennies, which is probably an ironic thing to say, to be honest. It's my first extravagant purchase of the year. I'm sure it'll be my last in relation to it being so much money anyway. But when I saw that it was out again, it was available, had to have it. So thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this and stuck with me through what's been a bit of an awkward and at times challenging unboxing video. I've showed you this Rolling Stones in mono 16 LP set. Loads to listen to here. I want to say special thanks to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. I'm not going to go on about all the stuff in the description text box because I know we've been here a while anyway, and I'll try and edit this down as much as possible. I'm going to go now, and what else, but I've got to crack into this. I mean, this is going to take me a few months, I think, to really finish, because obviously I'm not necessarily going to listen to 16 Rolling Stones albums in a row. On average, I sort of try and listen to about 5 or 6 albums, be them vinyl, CD or whatever, a week, and it can vary, give or take 1 or 2 some weeks. But I like to mix it all up a bit. You know, if I've got loads from one particular artist, I'm not necessarily going to have a whole week or whatever session of listening to them and no one else, unless I'm a massive fan of them. And admittedly, I'm not a massive fan of the Rolling Stones yet, but I think by the end of this, I probably will be. So I'm going to go ahead and start listening to the Rolling Stones' 1960s catalogue in mono, and I do hope that all of you will join me again next time for my next box set unboxing and record collecting video. Cheers everyone. See ya!